Hello, everyone. Hopefully, you are getting ready to enjoy a wonderful class, computer programming. Just a little bit about me. In all seriousness, I actually used to be addicted to the hokey pokey, but luckily, I was able to turn myself around so I can get into this course summary and the course syllabus for this class. In Canvas, you're going to have basically just two tabs available. You probably won't have any of these. You're going to have Home and Syllabus. When you click on Syllabus, you're going to have a link right up here to the actual course syllabus. And then right down here under Course Summary, it's going to be a list of all of the different assignments for this class. This probably won't be very helpful for you. It's much better to get all of your assignments within the modules right here within the week modules. But if you ever want to access the actual syllabus that we have, just click on Syllabus and then click on this link right here, and then that'll take us to the syllabus. So first thing that I really want to hit on is right here. Under supplemental materials, you're going to need two things for this class. Number one is a flash drive. To start out the semester, it's not going to come in handy too often, but as we progress, especially around second quarter, you're going to be saving a lot of files to your U drive, and your U drive might actually get too full. And so having a spot to put files that you're not necessarily working on right away would be good. So having a flash drive is going to be important. You won't need one right away, but you are going to need one. The second thing is headphones. You're going to need some headphones. You probably have headphones on to be able to listen to this video. Those headphones have to have what's called a 3.5 millimeter jack. Okay, this is like something that plugs into the computer. So I know a lot of Bluetooth headphones are all the rage these days, but unfortunately the school computers do not have Bluetooth, so you're going to have something that plugs into them. Now if you forget headphones for any reason, I have some that you can borrow, but in order to borrow headphones from me, I need something from you, probably like your school ID or something like that, so that you'll hand me your ID. You can use the headphones, and then we'll switch back. So as soon as you turn those headphones back in, then I'll give you your ID back. So it's just a little way of me remembering who borrowed headphones. The course description right here, this course has been designed with the novice programmer in mind, meaning somebody who doesn't have any programming experience, okay? So the goal of this class is to get somebody familiar with what programming is, like what codes are, like what's some basic logic loops, and what are variables, and decision sequencing, if statements. We're going to be doing some basic mobile game development, as well as developing some 3D games in Unity, but that'll come later on in the semester. So if you're coming into this class with some programming experience, that is awesome. That will definitely help you, but don't feel like you have to have that. If you don't have any experience programming, you are still good. You'll be good in this class, I promise. In terms of how I grade, I know that we're moving to a different system this year. We had Aspen last year. Now this year we're going to have Infinite Campus for our grades. So these codes are going to be a little bit different than what I have on the syllabus. I'm keeping these in here just because I'm not 100% sure at this moment what the codes for Infinite Campus are going to be. But basically, if you have a missing assignment, I might write NY, I might write missing. You're going to have 2 weeks to get that assignment redone. So let's say you can turn work in late, absolutely. You'll have 2 weeks to turn it in late for full credit. Or after I grade it, if I've graded it once and you're like, I want to redo that for additional points, you'll have 2 weeks to redo that assignment. After 2 weeks have passed, so 2 weeks past the assignment due date, you will no longer be able to turn assignments in late or redo assignments for credit. And speaking of that, obviously cheating is not allowed in the class. If you cheat, that'll be a dean's issue. And so I'll make a call to your parents. I'll refer you down to your dean and counselor, and they will deal with whatever type of academic or behavioral consequences there may be. We have there are formative, summative, and the final exam in terms of my assignments. Formative assessments, these are going to be things like just your daily things that we do in class. Those actually aren't going to affect your grade. So all the little small check-in things, those aren't going to make a big difference on your grade at all. In fact, not a difference at all. However, you will have to do all of the formative assessments, and I'll have to check off on them, so you'll have to do them well before you're allowed to do these summative assessments. So these are like usually in this class, they're going to be projects. We don't have very many tests or quizzes that you might think about, like multiple choice things, but we are going to have some big projects that are summatives, and those are what affect your grades. You will not be allowed to do the summative assessments before all of your formative assessments have been completed and checked off by me. So that should prevent you from just jumping right to the summatives, trying those and redoing those. You actually have to get all those formatives done, and you have to do those proficiently because I'm going to be looking at them before you jump to those summative assessments. And then finally, at the end of the semester, we'll have a final exam, which is worth 15% of your grade. Right here is the technology use policy. So basically, this kind of just basically says, there's a link to it right here, and it's really long, like a long technology use policy. But basically, using the technology in the classroom is there for learning, and you shouldn't be using that technology to play games or watch movies on. So yeah, you're not going to be allowed to play games in my class using the school computers, and you're not going to be able to watch videos using the school computers. I kind of went over this before, the redo retake guidelines. You're allowed to redo formative assessments and summative assessments for full credit. The only guideline is that you have to get those done within 2 weeks of me grading it. After 2 weeks have passed, I'm just going to flip it, and you're not going to, it goes from missing to incomplete, and you're no longer going to be able to complete that assignment for full credit. And that'll happen. You'll see in Infinite Campus. The summative retake policy is the same as the formative. The only difference is you have to make sure that you have all formatives in the unit completed. You have to have all formatives in the unit completed before you take the summative the first time. So that shouldn't really be an issue. The retake, most students, because they're projects, they don't have to retake things. The problem comes in the turning things in late. Some students kind of fall behind, and they end up being, 1-2 weeks behind, and then all of a sudden we're moving forward and they're still not done, and then they've been working on a project for a long time, and it's now 3 weeks late, and then they try to turn it in, and I do not allow that, because you only have 2 weeks past the due date in order to turn things in late for credit. And I got that right there. And then you will obviously not be able to retake the final exam. So yeah, that's the syllabus. Please let me know if you have any questions.